All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the June meeting. I'm going to give everybody just a moment to get settled. For those of you who don't know, I'm looking at the screen that I'm presenting on, but you are there. My name is Erin. I am the Vice President of Social Media and Technology. Chris couldn't be here, so I am presenting in her place. So hello, how are you? We're glad you're here. So the next thing, I am going to launch a quick poll. So this is the first time I've done this, so hopefully it will go well. We have the opportunity now to start resuming in-person sew days at Milland. And so we would just like to have a little bit of feedback from you about what kind of things you might be, are you actually interested in in-person sew days? Do you think vaccinations should be required? Do you think masks should be required? If we limit who is there, how would you like us to do that? By making reservations or just first come, first serve? So this is just going to give us an opportunity to find out what you think, and it will help us guide our decisions when we meet for our next board meeting in a few weeks. So thank you very much for giving us your opinion. If you don't live locally, don't worry about filling out this poll, and we'll have something new next month. I thought maybe we could just kind of use this for fun, and yeah, so there we go. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds or so, and then I'll end the poll and we will continue. So I'd like to thank our sponsors, Modern Domestic, Bolt Neighborhood Fabric Boutique, Aloha Sewing and Vacuum, and Montevilla Sewing Centers. And I wanted to give you a brief programs preview. The first thing that I would like to talk about is David Owen Hastings. He is here, and I'd like to invite him to unmute himself, and we can hear about our upcoming workshops with him next month.
Awesome, thank you, Erin. So nice to be here. Do you mind if I share my screen to show you some tempting photographs?
Yeah, let me end my screen share. Okay. There we go.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. I'm coming to you from just up the coast from Sequim, Washington, just west of Seattle. And I am very much looking forward to seeing you all in July. I'm a graphic designer by training. I'm also a gallery artist and a modern quilter. And I'm going to be doing a nice lecture for you next month at your July meeting that's called Minimal Design, Maximum Impact. And this is my come together moment for how to appreciate modern minimalism in quilting. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And also I'll be showing some of my my own work, as well as we're going to visit 3 artists I really admire. Here's just a quick sneak peek at some of my pieces. And anyway, it's going to be very fun. And we're going to talk about what all the things there is to love about minimalism in quilting, and also my passion for making the quilted line a very important part of your quilt designs. And then if you would like to join me, we're going to do 2 workshops. One is on July 17th, and that's called Inspired by Architecture. And that is a 6-hour workshop. It's mostly a design class. We're going to learn how to take inspiration from architectural photographs, how to change that into a quilt as you go mini quilt. Most students in my class get a couple of these minis done in the time that we have together. We're gonna practice our design skills in making that quilted line really interesting as well. So that's Inspired by Architecture. There's another little picture. And the second workshop is on the 18th, and that's Mini Mid-Mod Quilts. And you've actually picked my 2 most popular workshops to do, so I hope you enjoy them. This one is really popular. It's only 3 hours, and we make these little mini quilts inspired by mid-century modern design. And if you are interested, we will practice some Sashiko inspired hand stitching to embellish them. And I'll show you how to do that. Again, this is a very quick and very satisfying workshop, because you'll get 4 to 6 of these little guys done in class. And then you'll want to keep making them. You'll just say, you know, everybody leave me alone. I'm making minis right now. So anyway, I really look forward to seeing you next month. if you want to learn more about me before the talk at your meeting, you can visit my website, and I encourage you to sign up for my email list if you'd like to. I only do about one a month, and also follow me on Instagram. You can check out my stream and see what I've been up to recently. So I'll stop my share and throw it back to you, Erin, and thank you very much for having me join you for a minute, and hope to see a bunch of you next month.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us a little bit more of an insight to your workshops.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone before we move on?
I will watch the chat to see if anybody has any questions.
Or you can always email me or message me on Instagram too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. I'll let you get back to your fun.
All right.
Have a good meeting.
You too. All right, so we still have spots available in the workshop, or both workshops actually. And so you can find those in the shop on our website. And just in case you are not familiar with our website, if you look in the top right-hand corner, there's going to be like 3 little lines. Click on that and that will access everything that's in the website. And you'll see a listing there that says shop, and you can click there and find everything that's for sale. Our next preview is for Sujata Shah. She's going to be joining us for our guild meeting on August 19th at 7 p.m. And then on the August 21st, she's going to be doing the workshop, How to Make a Kawandi City Quilt. The scholarship for this is going to go live on July 9th, and then it will go on sale on July 19th. You can find all of the information, supply lists, the workshop description on our webpage, and that's under the events tab. Next in September, Krista Henneberry will be joining us on September 9th. Now that's an unusual date. We usually meet on the third Thursday of the month, but we had to move this meeting. That's going to be September 9th at 7 p.m. for her lecture. And then on September 18th, we'll be hosting her for a speed date with improv. And that will be on September 18th. And then I would like to introduce Ann Jenkins. She's going to introduce our main programming for the rest of the evening.
Is that for me?
No. That's
okay.
It's probably for me. If anybody has any questions. So Marcy is asking, why press your seams open?
Yes, gals. Why press your seams open?
For me, honestly, it just makes me happy. It's just like the Marie Kondo, like it sparks joy. It's so neat and so tidy, and I don't like the way it looks when you press seams to the side.
And I like how it's just nice and flat.
It reduces seam bulk.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I have a question to add to that. What is your best technique for making sure, you can't nest your seams when you press them open. So what is your best trick for making sure that your seams line up?
Oh, so what I do, and I have a tutorial on my Instagram highlights, but what I do is I pin where the seams meet first, and then I do like a run it through the sewing machine, like probably about like an inch over it, just to really secure it, and then kind of open it up, check it. If there's all the seams are lined up, then I'll go back and just do the whole entire line. That's my trick. So there's a video version of it on my Instagram highlights. I think it's Perfect Seams Perfect Points is what it's called. So check that out.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? I wouldn't mind hearing more about what I can see in the background of each of your screens. I see a jacket for Wendy, and those posters, or maybe mini quilts on Anna. And then I'd like to hear more about the quilt in the background for Amanda as well.
Let's do reverse alphabetical.
Okay, so I'll start first. That is my first quilt coat that I created.
Jacket.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's my first attempt at it.
But you've got tons of quilts behind you.
It's the quilt vault.
Wendy's closets of quilts.
It's the quilt vault. It's most of the quilts from Urban Quilting. So I've kept it there. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. But I have sent a couple of quilts out to quilt stores that do stock the book, just to kind of like really bring the quilts in the book to life. So if you guys have a store, or if you want to feature that in there and you stock my book, I'm more than happy to mail it to you.
Wendy wants quilts gone from her apartment.
And these are some mini quilts of mine. It's a series of 4 mini quilts. And this one, sorry, this one will be released next week. The others are available in my shop if you're curious. They're based on some rune symbols, Nordic rune symbols, and it's just kind of it's
really cool. Like you have like meditative practice and exercises about the rune. I've proofread a bunch of her patterns.
Yes. So each mini quilt is meant to represent a different aspect of life, like trust or patience or compassion or, etc. And the idea is to just kind of focus on that while you're going through the making progress and put those energies into that and think about how those things affect your life and how maybe they need to change in your life. So yeah.
They're really cool.
Yes, they are.
And I've got a quote behind me called Snowball Stars, I think.
That's right.
But it's a free pattern. It's available. It's saved to my my Instagram highlights. I was thinking I am a screenshot fiend, and so I screenshot everything from recipes, etc. So why not quilt patterns? So it was a trial of trying that out as a new way to disseminate information. So it's over there, saved, and I think I'm pretty sure it's called Snowball Stars. But there's no HSTs because I hate HSTs.
Well, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat here on the Zoom. So I'd like to thank you all for coming and joining us for our meeting.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
And you all get some rest because you're 3 hours ahead of us.
Yes.
Have a good night.
All right.
All right. Thanks
Bye.
again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Stay in the squadcast, gals.
Okay. I'm just trying to exit out of thingy.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
While they are, there we go. Okay. So I am going to share my screen again. See and present that. All right. So let's move on. So we're getting ready to start planning for next year. It seems so crazy that we're doing that, but we're in June already. So we're currently working on booking instructors. And the first thing I'd like to find out from you is if in the chat, if you have any ideas for somebody you would like to see next year, please put those in the chat so we can save that for our programs and workshops team. We've also put out that survey that a lot of you have filled out. I think we've gotten about 110 responses from that. That is currently linked in the members only section of the website. You probably saw that when you went to find the link. Please, if you haven't, fill that out for us. A lot of the responses that we've gotten about that asked us why doing a hybrid meeting wasn't a possibility. And the reason is we've discussed that as a board, and it's not only a financial commitment of purchasing like a laptop, potentially a Wi-Fi hotspot, cameras. I believe in the beginning of the year, I asked you all if you had any experience with live streaming and if you could serve as a resource for me while I was trying to budget all this. And I came up with a budget of around $5,000 to $10,000 for good equipment, so people could see like details of quilts when you would be watching it via Zoom. So not only is it a financial commitment, but there also would be a personnel commitment that we would need. We would also be signing up if we're making that kind of high financial purchase. We would need people to volunteer and step up and actually run this. So we decided as a board not to include that as an option, but if this is something that you as a guild feel strongly that you would really like to have the option of live streaming and in-person meeting, then we would need you to volunteer to help that. And so part of that is we're going to be running a town hall type of meeting during our usual Quilter Filter. That's going to be on July 8th at 7 p.m. So you can come and you can let us know how you feel about starting in person, and it will be just a great time for us to hear your thoughts more than just behind a keyboard. So that's that. We also need to start thinking about people to serve on the guild board for next year. So I'm your friendly board person saying, please take a moment and go to the About tab and go to the Officers, Volunteer Coordinators, and Bylaws section. There you can find the job descriptions for the board and also a guide to how to be on the board. So that's all there. Please take a look at it. Let us know if you have any questions. And in the future months, we'll be asking you to step up and volunteer. The next thing on our agenda is to talk about the Charity Sew drop-off and pickup day. That is this Saturday, June 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can find the address for this in the members only section of the website. Please keep in mind that no free table drop-offs will happen there. And last month we had 15 completed quilts that went to Dornbecker, and I'd like to challenge you to beat that for this month. I know I have a quilted quilt and a couple of tops to bring in, as well as some wonky stars. So I hope to see you there this weekend. Our charity zipper bag program is still going strong. We have kits available, and you can drop off and pick up on Mondays. Please text before coming, and you can find the information for that in, guess where? The members only section of the website. We still need donations of gallon-sized freezer bags, as well as half yard or more of fabric. And all of our charity zipper bags this year are going to the Portland Homeless Family Solutions. We are currently starting to plan our annual charity fabric fundraiser. For those of you who may be new, this is an event that we've been running for the last 3 years. 2 were in person, and the other 2, or the one last year obviously was virtual. We're going to continue it being virtual this year for the fall of 2021. Each year we pick 2 to 3 local beneficiaries. I believe we've done butterfly boxes, community warehouse, just to name a couple. And so we'd like to hear your suggestions for beneficiaries for this year. So if you have a local group that you'd like us to know about, please email us your idea by July 1st. And yeah, there. The free table is back. That's happening this weekend from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find the location information in the members only section of the website, and it is in a new location this month. So please make sure to visit that members only section of the website. Quilter Filter, Robin, our current host, has needed to step down. And so we're looking for somebody to step up and volunteer. And the requirements for this is to create a topic of discussion and help to facilitate a monthly Zoom discussion group. And so I believe this month, which was last week, the discussion was charity quilts. And so it's just meant to be kind of an open, small group type of meeting, and you can discuss the topic at hand. So this is a low time commitment volunteer position. So if you don't have a lot of time, this would be a great way to give back to the Guild. And we'd like to thank Robin for all of her hard work for the past, I think she's been doing this for about a year. So we'd like to thank her for that. QuiltCon is coming up. It's February 16th through 20th of 2022, and it's going to be in Phoenix this year. The important dates we'd like you to know about is June 24th, which I believe is next week. They're going to release the course catalog. Membership registration opens August 4th. If QuiltCon is something you would like to do in person, you need to work out your MQG membership now rather than closer to that August 4th date. It takes a few days for the whole process to go through. So if you're hoping to register on August 4th, you're going to need to have your registration through us complete before probably August 1st. August 19th, non-member registration opens. September 1st through October 31st is when the quilt show entries are going to be accepted. And then they'll send acceptances by December 15th. They also announced the 2 QuiltCon challenges this week. The first was the 2022 Artisan Cotton Fabric Challenge, which is sponsored by Wyndham. Fabric bundles went up for that today, and I am not exactly sure if they are still available or not. I didn't get a chance to check right before the meeting, but when I signed up, they were still available. The other challenge is the American Patchwork and Quilting Hexagon Quilting Challenge. And just a heads up, when I virtually attended QuiltCon this year, the fabric challenge and the last year it was a wedge challenge, the shape challenge, those had a lot less entries than all of the other categories. So if you're looking to try and get something into QuiltCon, I very much recommend working on these challenges and submitting quilts from the challenges, because the volume of quilts that were accepted were a lot less than the other entries. So I know I'm going to be working on both of these challenges. The QuiltCon Community Outreach Quilt. We are currently in the need for designs. The theme that they've put forth for this year are angles. And you can see down here at the bottom, that is the quilt palette that they would like us to use. So we're asking you to submit some designs. Those are going to be due by August 1st. And you can email the Guild with a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be anything super professional. It doesn't have to be an Illustrator file or anything like that. A sketch on a piece of paper will work. And then from August 14th through 18th, we will be holding a voting session so the Guild can select a design that they would like to work on. And then on August 19th at the Guild meeting, the selected design will be announced. And then you can find more information about the challenge. And then there's some photo examples there that you can see from the QuiltCon website there in the Get Involved tab. And then next, I would like to ask Tara of Taralee Quiltery to unmute.
I'm here.
There you are.
Hi. Yeah, so this month is about the melting of the polar ice caps. And this month is the first month that we're doing paper piecing. So I left my paper on so I could show you guys. It's a pretty simple block. Don't be scared. In the pattern, I put a link for a YouTube video where I created a YouTube video just walking through every single step of creating a section of the block. So if you've never done paper piecing before, that video will be like your bestie. And then this is my scrappy version that I made. I just wanted to show that off because I love it so much. I love the ice dye. It looks like hot, hot air, right? Melting the polar ice caps. Yeah, so I've been reading a lot about climate change, and I've been experiencing it this week. It's here in Manitoba, we get it's very extreme, right? So very cold in the winter, very hot in the summer, and just droughts or no droughts or flooding, you know, it's very extreme. So this year has been no different. One thing I will recommend is I've been watching a good documentary just on YouTube, and it's through, let's see, I brought it up here so I wouldn't give you the wrong name. It's called The Arctic is Melting, and it's a documentary put out by DW. It's only about a half an hour long, but I've been watching it. I think this is my second time watching it, and it's good. It's really good. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the paper piecing. Feel free to reach out to me if you are stuck. I am totally open to help you.
Great, thank you. Up next, we would like to feature one of our business members, Matthew Boudreau, and I saw him in our participant list. If you could mute and let us know about your new fabric line.
I'm Taralee here. Hi. So yeah, like this is the slide that I made because like this is really all that was necessary to talk to y'all about with my business. Like I have an online sewing school that I've launched, but y'all are good with that. So like this is my dream, the penultimate fabric collection that I've been dreaming about since I started. my relationship with Art Gallery imploded. That was public. And luckily I found an awesome progressive fabric company and PBS Fabrics. And this was an exclusive collection at fabric.com Amazon. And there are 33 quilters cotton prints and 10 canvas prints. And then we're gonna do sateen, and pre-cuts are coming soon. They just asked me, I asked them for it, and then they're gonna see which ones are better. But I told them like fat quarter bundles and half yard bundles. That's what like are very necessary for our people. So this is out there. And so there's lots of time still to order it and make Pride stuff, but Pride is all year long. As you know, who are aware of me, I'm always a rainbow. So thank you for allowing me the chance to share this with all of y'all. And I know that many of y'all are going to be as excited about this as I am. So as always, love you. This was a fun meeting. This is fun. Okay, that's all. Bye.
Well, we're glad you're here, and you have gorgeous fabric here.
Thank you.
And it's so I went on to the fabric.com, and if you scroll down on their main webpage, about halfway down, there's a Pride shop, and that's an easy link to find this, as well as the link that Anne, I believe, put into the chat.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show is on. It is July 10th from 9 to 4. We are not arranging a bus this year. But the resource of our carpooling page, that's on the front page of the website. So when you go to portlandmodernquiltguild.com, if you scroll all the way down, you can find the carpooling section there. And so if you want to arrange with some other quilters to go to Sisters, that's there for you. But we as a guild are not offering a way to get you to Sisters. Hopefully next year, fingers crossed. And a gentle reminder, those who have been accepted into the PMQG special exhibit at Sisters, your quilts are due June 24th. So I sent all of those who hadn't yet turned their quilts in an email the other day with Kimberly's contact information. So if you could contact her and arrange a time to drop off. And then show and tell. Just a heads up, those of you who submitted to show and tell, keep an eye on the chat to know when you're next. And the first person is going to be Marcy.
Hello. Can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Thank you.
I wonder what happened last month.
I think I just had the wrong thing on. Who knows?
Okay.
I'm still new with technical. These were a bag of scraps, peach and purple scraps that were left at the free table. And I just started sewing them together, and then I pulled out some of the gray with the skeleton heads, the Day of the Dead. And the back was white, and I dyed it to kind of match. And then I silk screened because I silk screen too, a Day of the Dead head on the back of it. And this one I was going to give away to the charity quilts, and my husband took it. He loves it, and he won't let me give it away. So I'm going to have to make another one. But this was all scraps, and it was just fun. It's just, you know, it was one of those during the pandemic where you just kind of come downstairs and sew and put things together, and that's what came from it.
Well, that's great. And the fact that you got it from the free table is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Tamara, you're up next.
Hi. So a lot of you probably know about Curated Quilts. That's a journal that puts out 4 issues a year. Each of their issue has a theme, and one of the features in every issue is a mini quilt challenge. So you can make a mini quilt that has to be square, anywhere between 10 and 16 inches. So the challenge for the next issue was no, not pentagons, but
polygons.
Yes, thank you. And this is what I made. I designed it in EQ8. And of course, they also have a prescribed color palette, so you have to use the colors that they assign. So anyway, I've never gotten in. I don't know if I got in this time, but probably not. So that's that.
Well, I love your quilting on this one. And then you have the quilt that's up next as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, this, I guess in January of this year? January of last year? I've completely lost track of time. Must have been January this year. there was a sew along. Oh, sorry, this is really annoying. With Latifa Safir and some other designers. And I started that and I ended up not finishing it because I hated the colors I had chosen. But they all had us make practice blocks with their rulers. And so that was just a thing that we did before the quilt along even started, just with whatever colors. So I love the clammy. And so I made the center panel with the clammy ruler just as practice. And then everyone in my house kind of really hated it. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to keep going with this and see how crazy I can make it. And so that's what I did. I just kept getting crazier and crazier. And yeah, so I just added that border, and it's about a big baby quilt size. So I made it for a loud baby, and I think I'm going to donate it to the charity program if Kath thinks she has any use for it. So that's that.
Awesome. All right. Jenny, you're up next.
Hi. Talking about Kath, this is her pattern, the double plus. And she actually gave me about 20 of the small pluses to help the situation along. And it's a fun one to make. I just love the color. And this was the first quilt that I quilted on my new Q20. So, and was actually in that stack of quilts that went to Dornbecker last month. And this was on my UFO list. So this was, I think, my second or third, my fourth UFO. Let me get back.
Good job.
No, it was my second UFO for the year, my fourth quilt.
All right, and then you have the quilt that's up next as well.
Okay. This is the second one of the quilts made from the blocks that I got from you all for the fall retreat. I got enough blocks that there'll be a third quilt, not of this pattern because I don't have quite enough to make this pattern. And this is actually the fourth quilt I've made in less than a year from this pattern. I'm ready to move on to something else. But this will be going to Kath and Sam for Dornbecker the day after tomorrow. And the pattern is Aunt B from Four Patch Frenzy. I don't remember the author right now. And I also, this was the second quilt that I quilted on my new Q20. So I'm having fun with that.
I was just about to ask you if you had quilted it on your Q20.
I did.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, so I went through the participant list. It doesn't look like Amber is here. Are you under a different name? Going once? All right, so in the show and tell sign up, she says that this is a gift for her sister-in-law. She invented the Ergo spouts and other products for mason jars. She made this for her to use it in her booth, and her company is Coolinesco. And then up next is Patty.
Hi, this is my entry into this year's Hoffman Challenge. You had to use 3 of the 6 fabrics. I used all 6 in the flying geese. I also made my flying geese elongated so I could put a little tail on each one, and that's made with a Kona solid. It's an original design, and all the quilting is original digitizing by myself, and it was done on my long arm. It's been accepted to travel, but they haven't announced the winners yet. I've been entering Hoffman since 1994 and have yet to have a winner.
Well, the quilting on this is gorgeous. I gasped when I saw this in the show and tell. It's beautiful. Great work.
Thank you.
All right, up next is Christopher.
Hi, so this quilt, I was kind of in a sewing funk for a little bit, just listening to some music, and the song by Billie Eilish, You Should See Me in a Crown, came on, and it got me thinking, and I took a pattern I had previously designed, which was the skull. Did some modifications to make it fit, add the crown onto it. I did some simple wavy lines on my long arm, and then start to finish, I think I got this quilt done in like 8 days from design to binding.
Wow, great work.
Thank you.
All right, up next is Beth.
Here I am. This is a pattern from Kathy Doty of Material Obsession. It's called Vintage Spin. And I went a little crazy, bought too much luminous fabric, and it just worked perfectly for this quilt. Super light, so it's a great summer quilt. And I photographed it in a newer section of a park in Forest Grove. That's it.
Beautiful work. I love your photos when you submit them, how they're photographed. They're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Up next is Marika.
Hi, this is my vintage rail fence quilt that I actually found at the bins a long time ago, and it was full of holes at that point, but I kind of babied it along, and I, you know, patched some of the holes, and then we were using it on my daughter's bed, and I like put my foot down and heard a rip, and I was like, okay, time to take this out of circulation and fix it up. So last year during COVID, I took the whole thing apart. It had been tied. And so I took out all the ties and I cut apart all the blocks and I resewed them with some modern fabric added in. And then I took it to Cheryl Ferris to quilt, and she did a Baptist clam on it, which is nice and dense, so that there was some places where there was still holes, and we were able to reuse the original batting and the original backing. And now it's our picnic quilt, and it will last for probably another 100 years, hopefully.
Beautiful. I love the sprinkling of the modern fabrics. It's a great quilt. Good job. All right. Up next is Marcy. I see the Marcy's here.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
yes.
excellent. Hi. I came across this fabric. It's a double ombre fabric from Robert Kaufman when I was in Iowa a couple of years ago. And I bought some yardage of it and thought it was so pretty and couldn't bear to cut it up. So I was fortunate enough to, a couple months later, come across a jelly roll of it. Still the same issue though, I didn't want to cut it up. So then I found this pattern from Sam Hunter, and I thought that's perfect. I can showcase how each color changes into a different color and line them up in a rainbow. And that's what I did.
Beautiful work.
Thank you.
And then the last one I submitted, it is a Batik 12-step program is the name of the pattern. I bought this was a quilt kit probably about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I've been trying to work through my stash of stuff, and I have a stack of quilt tops that I need to quilt. And so I recently quilted this one, and here it is. So we'd like to thank you for coming to our guild meeting tonight. The summary of the dates that are coming up. David Owen Hastings, he's going to be giving us a lecture on July 15th. That's our next guild meeting. And his workshops inspired by architecture and mini mod quilts are July 17th and 18th. And you can find purchasing information and just the supply list that you're going to need all on his page on our website under the events tab. The free table, like I said, is June 19th and 20th. And remember, that's at a new location. So check the members only section of our website for the location information for that, as well as for our charity quilts, which is this Saturday, June 19th. Sujata's How to Make a Kawandi City Quilt is going to be on August 24th, or 21st, excuse me. Scholarships open on, this is changing because I'm going to be out of town for that. It was July 9th. And on July 19th, this will go on sale. And then the Queer Quilters small group is happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Our Sunday small group is happening every Sunday, with the next meeting being this Sunday, June 20th, and that's 2 to 4 p.m. The block of the month small group is July 2nd. That's an opportunity to meet up with Tara Evans, who's the designer, and you can ask questions if you're having some issues constructing your blocks, or you want to discuss what's the meaning behind your block, or just the general meaning of the block that she came up with. This is just a great opportunity to get to also know other members of the Guild. And then our town hall meeting that we're going to have about resuming in-person meetings next year is going to be on July 8th. I believe that is a Thursday. And that is it. That is all of the slideshow. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to thank you for coming. And if you want to stay on to have a little small group action afterwards, please feel free. And we will see you all next month in July. Thank you, Anne.
Great job, Erin.
Have a good night, everybody.